What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Welcome to the LA Rap
Right to the
Radar.
mic.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate you.
Poon, man. Appreciate you
Thank you for
coming
having me.
by, man.
Thank you for having me.
So, let the people know your expertise.
First, my name is Dave McGriff, Dmac Esquire on social media. I'm an entertainment lawyer. Going on, this is my 25th year practicing law.
hmm
I've been primarily focusing on entertainment law the entire time.
Okay.
Um, Film, television, music. For the last 10, 15 years, it's been really dug down and focused on music. The last few years, I've segued back into management. I was managing before I went to law school.
Okay.
Then I focused on perfecting my craft as a lawyer.
Mhm.
And then recently I've segued back into management. So
Okay.
I'm doing double duty right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You always, keeping kind of one foot in both because it honestly works hand in hand in reality because you're negotiating the contract, you're setting the bar for the artist. So it's like if you're a manager, it's almost like a added bonus. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? So
That's
it's
right.
like simplifies things a whole lot more, right?
Yeah, it's good because I can deal with both things at the same time. Like as a manager, when I'm looking for opportunities, I'm always in the back of my mind already looking at the legal implications of doing
Right.
a deal for
Right.
for my artists. And it's good to keeping artists out of trouble because
Exactly.
creatives they're really good at what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like keeping things organized and making sure they don't give things away, that's what I'm really good at protecting against.
Well, without saying too much, you can just go ahead and give maybe a few of your big wig clients that you necessarily you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
have
so
represented.
I have a lot of artists on the West Coast. Obviously, I'm based here in LA, so
Mhm.
I have a lot of LA artists. The artist that is making a lot of noise right now, and that's keeping me pretty busy, is AZ Trike. He's having a really
Oh
big
yeah, AZ is dope.
resurgence with the Kendrick record, and he's been in the game long enough, and he's savvy enough to really take advantage of these opportunities that have been provided to him, and he's doing a really good job with that.
Yeah,
So
I
that's been
salute
some
him, man.
exciting stuff. Yeah.
I salute him. The way he's been actually navigating through the business, things he's been on, things he's been popping in and out of, just even traveling around the country and just the same things I've seen his name connected to lets me know he's got a real solid team with him because he's just like moving, with validity. Everything that he's
Mhm.
tapping into is something that comes from something that's been like a stronghold or a staple in the game. So
Yeah.
shout out
Very
to him.
very
Shout out to
strategic.
you, bro, for real. And his team, you guys have been
Appreciate
doing a
that.
wonderful
Yeah.
job with
Yeah.
that.
Very strategic.
If anybody else we would know, or maybe in film and television.
Well, one of the ones that I'm really excited about as well right now, I manage and I'm also his lawyer is Leaky two times with Go Leaky. He's been
League.
making a lot of noise in the streets
Yes, he is.
for the last year and a half or so. And I came across him. He used to play basketball with my son,
Oh, that's
my
dope.
son
Okay.
Q, and he, my son Q was like, this guy I used to play with, and he raps. He obviously he knows what I do,
Mhm.
and so I checked him out. I'm like, yeah, I need to check him out.
Yeah.
There's times that people tell me about rappers, and I'm like, yeah, he's cool. He needs to keep working. But there was something with Leaky that immediately I saw it. I'm like, yeah, I need to meet him. So
Mhm.
I pulled up on him at a studio session, and we locked in shortly thereafter, and we've been rocking ever since.
Right. That's
And
dope.
he's a worker, man, and he makes records.
Mhm.
He makes records. He makes
That's
really
right.
good music.
He makes wonderful music. Every time I see him, I got to give him just more, you know, love in the way of accolades and just praise because he's somebody that is a youngster that have grasped a lot of the old school hip hop traits. Like, and that's you already know from coming from back in the day. We knew how to basically make a song that can really shake the party, that can make sure before you left,
Right.
you're just gonna have a good time.
Right.
And at the end of the day, a lot of people don't do that simply because there's so much aggression, there's so much violence. But when you can break through, you know what I'm saying? Him, Chef Boy, I got to shout out Chef Boy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually bringing the resurgence back of that type of music that was huge in the 90s and in the 2000s, stuff
That's
like
right. That's right. I mean, coming up, clubs really aren't as big as it was when I was coming up.
that. Right.
Going to clubs, listening to music, actually getting out there, being outside in a positive way.
Mhm.
Obviously, there was a lot of crazy shit going
Of
on in the
course,
90s,
of
obviously,
course,
right?
it's LA.
90s and going into the 2000s, but
Mm.
we were able to find a way to actually have some fun with it as well. And I think that's also important. It balances things out.
Right,
And when you
right.
have somebody like Leaky who can make big records, who can make records that people, want to vibe to, chilling on a weekend too, at the barbecue, whatever. That's I think it's really important, and it's good for the West Coast.
And I'm going to also say this too. Leaky has also been a youngster to be able to master actually giving you radio records, because a lot of people
Yeah.
give you streaming records. They give you records that might sound good for about 2 weeks, a month and a half at the most.
That's right.
Leaky actually makes records that perform well and will do well in a radio audience. It can actually be played at 10:30 in the morning. They're actually being played at 7 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's essential, and that's something that's special just in hearing him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's something that I feel like can go a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And what's dope about it, it's not even, it's nothing forced. It's not even like, as a manager, I have strategy in terms of what the sequence in which I want to release a record, what kind of promotion I want to put behind each record, and what visuals, what content to shoot to each one. But in terms of making the music, Leaky is someone who I think naturally gravitates towards that, naturally produces music that does well, that's commercial, that it lends itself to radio play.
Right.
And that's just something that he does.
Right.
And that's for a manager and a lawyer helping somebody navigate their career makes my job easy.
All right. And it's something that not a lot of the younger audience has. So I think that's kind of, in his repertoire that he holds, that's probably going to, have him stick around for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You mentioned film and television. How is that as far as just on the legal side and doing things, the difference between trying to sell an album or an artist as opposed to trying to sell a series or a movie?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I'll give you like some examples of like independent films. That's one of the things that I was focusing on when I did a lot of film work. I still do some, but there was a time period where I was working on the financing and distribution for 3 to 5 films at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was in a lot was the foreign financing behind films. And there was a time where, and some of this still exists, but what would happen is you would have a star attached to a script.
Right.
You hire a sales agent. The sales agent would go to all these different territories around the world and say, hey, I got this script. I got Sylvester Stallone. Don't even know who's directing it. Nothing. You have one star, one script, and you can sell to these different markets the rights to air the movie.
Right.
So you go to Germany, you go to Austria, you go to Italy, and they're like, yeah, okay, you got that actor. It's an action script, or it's based here. Yeah, we'll give you X amount of money for the rights to distribute the movie in this territory. And you take all those contracts, you take it to a bank, and they loan you money against the contracts, and that's how you make your movie.
Right.
So movies have been made like that for a long time. Very from a legal perspective, you really have to pay attention to the rights and how they're apportioned and how they're granted. And the rights grant, whether it's film, television, your streaming rights when you're doing, whether it's YouTube, sound exchange, there's all these different pieces of where you can monetize things with intellectual property. And that's what I try to educate artists, that they understand that the record deal is like a small segment of what they can actually monetize their IP.
Right.
You make a song, but then you have the record deal, but then you also have publishing, you also have sound exchange, you have all these different rights that if you're smart about it and you can actually parcel it out, you're able to feed yourself for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, because the equity in movies go forever. Some people that own equity in a lot of different films. I know some people that's grandfathers own equity in them, and they're literally living off of it right now to this day. So that's what the whole estate trust and things of that nature come into play. So absolutely. I definitely get it, especially because of just how they pay for film and television as opposed to music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess it's called the guaranteed dollar as opposed to the the possible dollar in music.
Yeah, and then the other thing is if you're able to, like, one deal that I worked on, I was working on this deal when my daughter was being born. Like literally, I was in the hospital, and documents were being sent to the hospital so I could review them at the hospital.
You
Like,
almost-
as she was
I
being born.
I'm pretty sure your wife didn't. She probably didn't remember
she wasn't
it was
rolling.
Woozy.
No, she wasn't rolling. But the interesting thing is, like, you never know what you're going to be working on. So I'm working on this deal, and it's keeping me up at night. And I'm like, you know, this deal is probably not going to turn into anything because a lot of deals don't, especially movie deals. They don't.
They don't.
But what happened is that this was the deal behind the rights that spawned the Conjuring series.
Wow.
So not obviously you have the Conjuring movies, and you have all the spinoffs from that, Annabelle and the Nun and all like that. So that one deal spawned this entire universe of films.
Wow.
And so you never know what you're working on. You never know what you're working on today and how it's going to impact. My daughter she just had her 16th birthday, and the films have been going ever since.
That's crazy. Look, people, listen. Dmac is giving you real game right here. If you understand about the long game, as they call it, you know what I'm saying? I always use this as a thing of people, you know, talk about, and that's what I call the raw clause. And that was Jason Weaver and his mom. Instead of selling and giving the ownership away of his performance on The Lion King, they just leased it. So he was able to make, I think, they offered him maybe like $300,000 originally, and now he's made close to $3.5 million to this day. So it's like, if you really understand the game, the long game, you can really, you know, you can invest into that equity and be very financial stable for the rest of your life. If you got a person like Dmac on your side, that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a good attorney, good legal, man.
That's right.
But look, I'm not gonna hold you too long. I just wanted you to come by, spit a little game, holler at the people. What do you have outside of, you know, Leaky? Is there anything else that you're promoting and you're out and got out and you're doing?
Yeah, well, I'm always, you know, I am an experienced entertainment lawyer. If you need help, you're looking for assistance, you have a contract you need somebody to look at, or you just want some advice, you need a consultation. You know, hit me up, hit my DM, Dmac_Esquire on Instagram. You know, I'll work with you.
There it is there, man. Dmac, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Real legal game from a real deal lawyer. Get you one, because I guarantee you to help you out in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
We're going to be back, man. LA Rap Radar. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. Trap LA style. It's your boy, Poondaga. Keep it locked, y'all. That's how we doing it. No music tonight. It's just all us. You know, the real side of things. That's right. Keeping it locked in.